Stephen's Solace, a Seals of Honor world novel. Written by Dale Meyer. Narrated by Tristan Wright. Prologue. When Tyson walked into the kitchen of Levi's compound the next morning, he looked over at Levi and said, "You're running a pretty good streak. Not only that, I have a good chance at getting them both to work for me, too." Levi rubbed his hands together. "You know that you'll almost need a bigger place. You've got so many on your team." "Thankfully, those two are likely to stay where they are, at least until her son graduates." "Which is only a few months from now," he reminded Levi. "Right. It is only a few months, isn't it? But still, that's down the road, and I've got a very strange job next." "It seems like all we've had lately are strange jobs." "They're good for testing the new guys," he noted. "We've got so many ops in progress all over the place right now. We've even got a 4-man team helping Bullard. I do have a simpler case, but that's off in California." "What is the job?" Just then, Steve walked in, interrupting their conversation. He took one look at Tyson and held out a hand. "Hey, buddy." Tyson opened his arms, and they hugged. "Jesus, I haven't seen you in forever," Tyson noted. "Yeah, Levi called me a couple days ago. I was close by, so here I am for a visit." "You left the Navy?" "Yeah, after I got a bit of an injury." He winced. "Figured it was probably time to take this old bod and do something different with it." "I don't want to burst your bubble," Tyson began, "but it's not necessarily different here. Sometimes it's far more dangerous." "I don't have any illusions," Steve noted. "Besides, no guarantee Levi even wants me at this point." He turned toward Levi at the table. "I can't imagine he wouldn't." Tyson also eyed Levi, one eyebrow raising. "He knows good men when he sees them. Damn, he's pretty well cleaned out every group I ever worked with at this point." Steve chuckled. "Yeah, an underground gossip channel says he's always looking for good men." He walked over to the dining room table and sat down near Levi. "So you mentioned something about California. You know I just came from there, right?" "I know, and you were looking to relocate here." "That's just a thought." Levi smirked. "There might be a woman involved, too," Steve shared. At that, Tyson smiled. "Any reason you're avoiding California?" "No," Steve replied, but he spoke a little too fast. At that, Tyson just smiled. "Relationship trouble?" "Isn't it always?" Steve asked. "Serious?" "No, not at all," he murmured. "So do you want to tell me about this job instead of talking about my non-existent love life?" "Do you have a love life?" Levi asked. "Not anymore," Steve said. "Ah, anyone you want to resurrect things with?" "Nope, I sure don't. I don't like cheaters." And that went for everybody else in Levi's group, too. "We all agree with you there," Levi confirmed. "So it's Northern California, near Fort Bragg, actually." "That's a small-ass town. What the hell's wrong up there?" "Heard talk about something happening on the nearby coast," Levi mentioned. Steve stared at him. "Okay, and what about it?" "Apparently the tides up there are washing things in that are worrying some people." "So that's a matter for the local cops, right? Surely it's got nothing to do with us." "In this particular case, a woman washed up on shore, alive, but barely, and if it weren't for some sloppy handling, she would have done better. She nearly died, and the family wants us to investigate to find out what the hell's really going on." "That's not exactly the kind of work I thought we'd be doing," Steve replied. "That's what I meant by you never really know around here," Tyson stated. "Our cases span everything from a domestic kidnapping to, hey, we'll ship you to Israel because somebody's looking for support." "That's quite a span, all right." Turning back to Levi, Steve asked, "So, this woman, is she okay?" "She might be, and I think you also know her." At that, Steve frowned and shook his head. "I sure as hell hope not," he snapped. "Her name is Opal." At that, he reared back. Jesus Christ. Bolting to his feet, he seemed ready to run. "Don't worry," Levi said. "We're flying you right back out again." He stared and asked, "And the cops haven't gotten to the bottom of this?" "No, apparently Opal's father has been in trouble a lot, so there is talk that this might have some undercurrents where the law is having some problems with them." "Yeah, you could say."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?